Take the fear out of machine embroidery by creating freestanding appliques. Then simply stitch the designs to your project. It's an ideal way to apply dense embroidery designs to fabric that might be too delicate, stretchy, or lightweight to handle the embroidery. I'd like to show you how. Now when you take a look at our examples, I would imagine you'd think that the embroidery was done exactly or on the shirt. No, we'll be creating these freestanding appliques and then zigzagging it into place later on. Ideal for, as we mentioned, lightweight fabrics or fabrics that are difficult to hoop, and also fabrics that have shape. A hat and the shoes would be kind of tricky to embroider right on, but the embroidery does add a nice touch. What makes it possible is stitching right onto synthetic organza or tulle fabric. Here we have the collection of synthetic organza, sparkly in many colors of the rainbow, so you'll have a fabric base that will match most fabrics that you'll be embroidering on. You'll see how this works in a minute, and it's worked in conjunction with a stabilizer. The stabilizer is non-woven, wash-away stabilizer that has a cornstarch base. It's eco-friendly so that you can embroider on it, and then that will disappear as you go along. Now you need to pick an embroidery design. You choose this to make sure that the designs are self-contained with little or no running stitches. The fill-in stitches are what you'd like to look for. In other words, the dense embroidery. We have 5 Sewing with Nancy collections to choose from, and there are many more you could choose. But the Dragonfly Dreams is an excellent embroidery for no fear embroidery for clothing, as well as the Delightful Daisies. Then we have Antique Roses, Springtime Bouquets. We're using a design from Springtime Bouquets, or you can choose Wildflowers. Next, you need to select a natural fiber thread, such as rayon, cotton, or silk for the embroidery. And you're wondering, rayon, is that a natural fiber? Well, rayon is made of cellulose of leftover cotton linters for the most part, and it is basically a natural fiber. Later on, you'll understand why we need natural fibers when working with this no-fear embroidery technique. So you have the fabric, the stabilizer, the thread, and you've chosen an embroidery. Now it's time to set up the embroidery hoop. Once you've chosen your embroidery collection, look carefully at the designs. Here we have some stitch outs from the collection we chose, 2 of which are perfect for the no fear embroidery, 1 which will not be as workable. The non-workable one is the embroidery with a running stitch, because that would be very flimsy after taking away the supportive fabric. The other 2 have lots of satin stitches and dense fill-in stitches. So we're going to choose the embroideries you'd like, stitch them in the embroidery field on the fabric. The fabric is the non-woven wash-away stabilizer. We have 2 layers and 1 layer of the organza, the synthetic organza, matching a color from your embroidery. You'll see one example with yellow and another one with green. This is the yellow one, and you're going to place the 3 layers in the embroidery hoop. And I'm not hooping this in the middle, I'm hooping it to a side, so I'm going to fill in this area. Then I can move the hoop and fill in the remaining areas. Condense as many appliques or embroideries, I should say, together as you can. Here I'm stitching in another hoop, filling in the blank, adding another collection of these beautiful flowers. After you've done a lot of embroidery, this one would require a little bit more. I can fill in the blanks, but after you fill it in, then pop the fabric out of the hoop, and you're going to cut away the excess fabric. And I've started to do this. This shows another color combination of the organza, and you would just roughly trim this out. Water-soluble stabilizer, so we're going to immerse the appliques within minutes or seconds. The stabilizer dissolves, needs a little bit more time, and here I have one that's already been dissolved, and let it dry. After you let it dry, you can even press it dry with a pressing sheet. You're going to trim away the excess organza. It's a synthetic. So with a hot tip of a stencil cutter, just run the tip along the fabric and it'll burn it away. Now you can do it once or twice. Once to get rid of the majority of it, and then twice to, second time to fine-tune, getting rid of all this excess. Now you're going to take a little bit more time than what I have done, but this shows you how you can just trim it out and it looks as if it's an applique. Well, it is. You've created it with your embroidery machine. Now position it on your fabric. Find where you'd like to place it on your fabric. I have thread in the needle, and it's monofilament thread, and I am zigzagging over the embroidery design to hold it down, tacking it down as you would maybe an emblem or other type of applique. Another option, of course, would be to put it on a hat, a tote, or we're going to put it on a pair of sandals, putting the embroideries on the sandals. Using E6000, a clear glue, I've placed a little of the glue on a stick, and I just apply it to your project. I'm filling in the grommet area of the shoe, and then place the applique over it. Apply some pressure, allow it to dry completely, and there you are. Your No Fear embroideries are placed on an accessory. Nancy's Notions offers a full selection of sewing notions to test out your new sewing or embroidery skills. Order your supplies today.